I love me some critical smoker, man. Critical smoker. He just does it. Hey y'all. We're just gonna start this video off regular, degular, schmegular. So let me give y'all a run through. First of all, let me say hello to everybody. Cause the foolishness I saw in Dalton today. Who wrote that song? The ghetto. Talking about the ghetto. I was like, can election come and go? The ghetto. We got people flagging down cars in the middle of a busy street. Y'all, let me say hello first. Let me say hello. So, Jazzy, hello, Jazzy. Choose, thank you. Both you, Cynthia, thank you. Gardis, everybody. Hello, everybody. Thanks for being here. Welcome to Burgundy Blue Commentary. If you don't know, see, I'll gain like 20 people, but I'll lose like 40 because I have to give you both sides. I'm just letting you know we talk about what we want to talk about when we're ready to talk about it. And today I want to talk about Tiffany Henyard eviction and what I see. And don't get me wrong, shame on Tiffany. If this is what you allowed, shame on you. However, and I'm saying that not because we know Tiffany not broke. You know what I mean? Um, we know that's the only reason. I'm not saying it because you should be shamed. Please be clear. I'm not saying anybody should be shamed for being in a hardship. I'm not saying that. We have a mayor, that's the mayor, and then a supervisor of Thornton Township. Okay. So I want to talk about that. But I also want to talk about just me trying to get in the food for less and get some ground turkey, how crazy it was, how thirsty the streets are for these seats. It's really crazy out here, and you probably won't experience it unless you're tuned in over here on Burgundy Blue Commentary. I think I may be the only one that, besides Trina Downs, I know Trina Downs is out here and Mama Cheryl, but I think I'm the only commentary channel that will be like, this is what's really going on. So make sure you subscribe. It's sad. I only can say one thing: run. I'm not even trying. I'm not even trying to hold you. Run, run. If you can, if you got the ability, run. Okay, get up out of here. I don't know when the switch went off where it was this weird. And that's what I want to say. Have you guys ever seen anything like this, or is this just me? Can you put in the comments? Let me know. And if you want to call in, I'll drop the link. But have you ever seen anything like this before? I have not. And I'm wondering, it was so funny. I was at Food for Less, and an elder told me, she said, I wonder if it's a pot of gold at the end of the Lucky Charms. That's what she said. She was like, the way they're acting and fighting over petitions, it's really insane what's going on. Okay. So let me play. I'm just going to play my little short for today. So y'all know what is going on all across the land. And I know a lot of people are, this is my little short idea today, because I just found it. I'm like, this is the Halloween special. That's why I called it the Halloween special today, because I said, this is the Halloween special. It's nothing else to it. Everybody's acting up. And I want to get to my thoughts on Tiffany Henyard eviction situation. And I'm doing this before I even dig into it. A lot of y'all was saying that y'all went to the landlord Facebook and stuff. I did not. I'm giving you full transparency. I did not do that. I'm not there yet. I try to be a little bit more, your business is your business. But I do find that these people, from what you guys sent me, like said that Tiffany and the landlord was friends. I found out that everybody are friends upon homies, upon scratch your back, scratch my back. And that's the biggest problem. I know that's politics in a nutshell, but I think that's why we had a lot of older people in politics too, because this has gotten extreme with the younger crowd. Let's go ahead and watch this little. Hit the like button. If you hear 40 people watching, hit the like button. I only got 5 likes. Give your girl a like. Just like it. I appreciate you. Let's go. Let's see if I can get some volume. Sorry, y'all. Oops, sorry. Hold on. I'm ahead of my time. Hold on. I'm ahead of my time. I might not have the volume. I was trying to show y'all this short, but where's my volume button? Well, let's just play it here. No, go ahead. We'll play this. We'll start from here. For this, it cannot be real. Please tell me it's not so. I would fail to believe this is true. But if it is, let's go for it. Tiffany Henyard is getting evicted. The super mayor getting evicted. How does this happen?
Blue commentary, Burgundy commentary, comment blue commentary, comment Burgundy blue commentary, Burgundy commentary,
There's a new crisis on her hands. She's being booted out of her home. Fox 32 has obtained copies of an eviction notice filed in Cook County Court against Henyard and her boyfriend, Kamal Woods. Henyard has been renting a home in the 14600 block of South Harvard for the past 3 years. But the owner of the home told us Henyard and Woods are behind on the rent and owe more than $3,300. The notice also says Henyard has refused to allow an inspection of that property. Now, we reached out to her attorney, who texted back that he believes the story is false and that no rent payment was ever made.
Guys, I will be the first to always say what I want to say, no matter both sides. If the mayor is not paying her rent, that means that everything you guys have been saying since the beginning of time is true. Because one thing we've known that everyone knows, the first thing you try to pay, if you can't pay water, lights, gas, food, you try to pay where you lay your head first. You guys sent me a bunch of clips. I haven't been able to go over them all. One was from Trina Downs. Shout out to Trina Downs. It was something about the mayor's bank account may have been frozen. I didn't finish that video. However, if the mayor's bank account is frozen, Kamal, where you at? Where you at? It's not just up to Tiffany. And I wholeheartedly mean that. Kamal, where are you at? The embarrassment. Now, I'm not trying to be the one. So I know I got some men in my chat. But okay, let's break it down just on the gossip standpoint, because at the end of the day, we don't know what's going on, right? But if Kamal was married, if he was married, left his house to be with Tiffany, the least he could do is make sure that that rent is paid. Am I wrong for thinking that way? Am I wrong for thinking that way? Because I'm sitting up here like, that's the least you can do when you know this woman's under scrutiny. Now, let me tell you something. $3,300 is not a lot of money. Hear me out. I could use $3,300. I'm not saying it like that. But those from the south suburbs know if you're going into Calumet City, Dolton, Riverdale, you're not going to find nothing under $1,450, $1,500 for rent. Okay, you're not going to find that amount. So that meant she'd have to be 2 months behind. Let's say if where she rent was $1,500 or $1,800 or something. It was in the hundreds. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like she was 4 or 5 months. It could have just been 1 month. When she knew she was past due, that should have been handled. She should have never got, as the mayor, you don't get past due. You just don't. What kind of, how can you ride around in a Tahoe or a BMW or anything else and not pay your rent. Let me tell you, your girl done had hard times in her life. I know. You pay your rent first. You don't need no water, you don't need no lights. Long as you got the roof over your head to start, you can work the rest out. And I never was like, I'm looking at Gardis. Gardis said, as taught by my dad, mortgage rent is your number one bill. Before you pay anything, your first priority is having a roof over your head. Now, I wasn't taught that, but baby, did I learn the lesson. I learned it. 24 years old, learned it. Douglas Point. Tell you about it. I don't even think I was 24, 21. You know, we talk about everything over here. It's no shame. Let me tell you something. What you don't do is let your lady take this. Now I'm confusion. Y'all know, at first I was like, you know, now what we're going to talk about over here. Let's finish this. But I do have some points because I do not have a personal relationship with Tiffany. I don't have a personal relationship with the trustees. I'm looking at everything the way you guys are looking at it. And some things have my spidey senses up. And we're going to go to this news thing. Can anybody tell me why? Tell me why? I had to do it. Sorry. Can anybody tell me why, if they're all on the news now saying Tiffany lived at this house for 3 years, have y'all ever seen the news team outside that house that she lived in? Or were they at her mother's house? This is me and my spidey senses. That's it. I'm not saying that Tiffany did or did not pay. I'm saying y'all had this address on Harvard for 3 years and Dane Placco, none of y'all was up there at this house. I'm being real. Like, we have to look at all corners. Y'all mean to tell me that this was the house that y'all said she lived in for 3 years with her boyfriend, and not one news truck was out there? Y'all steady was at her mama house. Why? I will take all answers. I'm just asking. Because that kind of made me think about it. Okay, so Chu said, is this the same house? Now, who was they? Because now Chu said, is this the same house they were taking pictures of with the men in with the suits? Allegedly. Yep. That's allegedly the house. And did the news ever report that house? Because let's just get to the nitty-gritty. We got a whole dang on newscaster that don't be bothered with this drama, but she's the mate of Dane Placco, and she's the mother of, I'm sorry, she's the wife of the father of the baby of Tiffany Henyard. So they know where Tiffany Henyard lives. It's never going to be a secret, right? But where did you see it? I'm asking y'all, where did you see it? Did you see it on the news? So how is Dane Placco now? He's up here saying for 3 years. Every time we saw Dane Placco, unless I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong. Every time we saw Dane Placco, he was outside of the mama house. Every time we heard anything in the boardroom, it was about a cop car being at the mama house. So y'all mean to tell me that Tiffany didn't have police detail at her house too? I'm just asking. I'm not accusing. I'm just asking. Like, we never. So now the eviction comes up. Let's just watch this. Let's watch this. Look, let's watch this damn Placco. I just want to hear about it.
A new crisis on her hands. She's being booted out of her home.
I'm laughing.
Fox 32 has obtained copies of an eviction notice filed in Cook County Court against Henyard and her boyfriend, Kamal Woods. Henyard has been renting a home in the 14600 block of South Harvard for the past 3 years. But the owner of the home told us Henyard and Woods are behind on the rent and owe more than $3,300. The notice also says Henyard has refused to allow an inspection of that property. Now, we reached out to her attorney, who texted back that he believes the story is false and that no rent payment was ever made.
Guys, I will be the first to always say what I want to say, no matter both sides.
Okay, so you hear Dane saying that. Now, can you guys, if you're out there, please, I don't see everything because sometimes I just don't be on the line like that. Have you ever seen the news go to this? In the last 3 years, this woman has been in turmoil, been going through, stealing money from the village. Have y'all ever seen the news company go to 146 in Harvard? Any of the news people, any of the media? If you can send me the link where you saw any of the media go to 14600 to address Tiffany Henyard. I'm just asking. I want us to just critically think. When you see the news pull up or when people complain in the board meetings, has anyone ever brought up 146 Harvard? I'm just asking. Now, that's just my YouTubing mindset. Now, but they bring their mom. Oh, it's an empty police car in front of her mama's house. Oh, her mother got fruit. Oh, it's this over there, her mother's house. Where was y'all at why y'all didn't go to 146 Harvard? I'm just at 3 years. She been stealing for 3 years. Nobody went down that block. So that's my thoughts on that. Now my second thought is Tiffany. Whether you left that place, did not end your lease at that place, stopped a friendship with your friend at that place, you were supposed to rectify that. You can't leave no loose ends. So that's on Tiffany. You see what I'm saying? That's on Tiffany, period. So if you didn't cover your buns, that's on you. Thirdly, she got some weak attorneys. Let's go to look, and let me do my disclaimer before I say it there. I said she got some weak attorneys. Hold please.
I got some clothes, I got some jewelry, the rest I got tied up in investments. I ain't got nothing else.
Y'all, I'm just sitting here looking like how long it take for the. I can imagine how much Tiffany had to pay these defense attorneys out her pocket to defend her. Now, when it got down to, I'm gonna tell y'all had me at hello, right? Remember, we were fighting neck and neck. Y'all to see me get drugged all across the internet, and because I feel a certain type of way. Now, I feel like we need to see both sides. The only time I felt like it was the crash out on Tiffany was when it got to, what's that guy name? The officer she just hired. He gave Burge. Officer Burge. When she rehired him and when she hired Michael Smith, I felt like that was a crash out. I felt like that she felt like, well, I'm not going to win again anyway. Let me burn y'all up. As we used to say in high school, you burn up, we're going to burn you up. And then we're going to go ahead and go focus on our lives after this, because Tiffany will have a life after this. She's going to have all kind of people going to come. First of all, everybody walking around town with this dang on, they're calling it her hair color. Is it called ginger red? It's called something. It's a hair color you can get in town now for Tiffany Henyard. Her hair color is a thing now. So when you see somebody, I will be driving down the street thinking it's Tiffany, or I'll go to Starbucks thinking it's Tiffany in line. No, this is the color they're getting right now. It's interesting. It's just interesting. We got 117 people watching and 30 likes. Can you hit the like button just for me? Thank you. It's very interesting to see. And as close as it gets to election time, it's getting even worse. So I'm going to continue this little short video I had, and then we'll go from there. Y'all let me know if you have some thoughts you want to call in. You're welcome to. It's Sunday night. Let's vibe. Let's see what's going on, because, I mean, we can't save her. She don't want to be saved, right? We can't save what's going on. I think that this was the blow to say that if you weren't valid. I remember being at the let me stop that thought. I remember being at the first Thornton Township meeting where I met Late Night Crew in April, and our phones were not working properly because it's so hot down there. And Tiffany got on the microphone and said, "It ain't my fault if you don't pay your phone bill." This is someone saying, y'all got to pay your bills. You hear all the time say, y'all got to pay your bills. So to have a landlord say she hasn't paid her bill, that is a shocker, right? That's a real shocker. Hey, Brandon. All right, guys, let's, you remember that, Jazzy? I'm going to finish this little video. We won't be long-winded today.
If the mayor is not paying her rent, that means that everything you guys have been saying since the beginning of time is true. Because one thing we've known that everyone knows, the first thing you try to pay, if you can't pay water, lights, gas, food, you try to pay where you lay your head first. You guys sent me a bunch of clips. I haven't been able to go over them all. One was from Trina Downs. Shout out to Trina Downs. It was something about the mayor's bank account may have been frozen. I didn't finish that video. However, if the mayor's bank account is frozen, Kamal, where you at? Where you at? It's not just up to Tiffany. She's making $400,000 a year, possibly, between the two jobs. We also know she has different business ventures. Y'all not paying rent. Now, if you didn't know and you're not from this area, median income for if you want to rent a house in Dolton, you're not going to rent a house in Dolton for less than $1,500. That's just it. So if the mayor probably has a nice house, right? So that's at least 2 months of rent past due. So imagine renting to the mayor and having to file in court for eviction. Now, I don't know if this is a political play or I'm going to be honest, they were out this weekend getting petitions all weekend.
Y'all, this weekend was a ghetto petition. I'm sorry. The ghetto. Talking about the ghetto. The ghetto. And I can't sing. It was the ghetto. Y'all. Man, I can't do nothing but shake my head. I almost said shuck and jive. I can't do that, because that is exactly what was going on this weekend. And y'all need to come up with something better than I'm better than Tiffany, vote for me. Even when it's, this is why I think is this the first time this happened probably in history of Thornton Township, where the mayor is also the supervisor? This should never happen again. This should never happen again, because this is such a it's such a problem. It's such a problem. Thanks, Shoes. I want to bring up, what was that? I missed something. Okay, K Hustle said, I heard she makes $200K at Thornton Township supervisor. How come she can't pay $3,000? You right. So now this is where people miss the whole thing. She's making that 200 plus K as Thornton Township supervisor. She's making 50 plus as the mayor of Dolton. Also, she's making like close to 30 plus as the liquor commissioner for Dolton, right? And Tiffany holds another seat, another little corner. I don't know if she's paid for, but it's something in the Southland. So I'm gonna leave that out. But she also gets perks and per diems. So Tiffany is going close to 400K easily on money. But now I'm seeing possibly the attorney fees are now going to kill her. But that's when Kamal, if you what, we are not. I'm a moving by myself, and I'm a force. No, take your butt back home. No, because this is the thing I always want anyone to know when I cover Tiffany Henyard. This is her legacy. When we research Tiffany Henyard, we're not worried about Kamal. We're not worried about Zuccarelli. We're not worried about Jason House. When we Google, when the history books go back and look at Tiffany Henyard, it's her legacy. When you look at Lori Lightfoot, you look at Lori Lightfoot as her as a mayor. You're not worried about her wife or her daughter or her exes. You're just looking at Lori Lightfoot legacy. And I think that's something that Tiffany needs to understand. Everybody that come with you can't go with you. And there's no slight to Kamal. But if you can't silence some of the damage, even if it's PR damage that's happening to your girlfriend, I don't know what kind of help you are. Am I wrong for saying that? Let me know, you guys. Let me know. Hey, Lana, Chronic Mike. No. And you know what? I want to say one more thing. It's a problem with mayors renting anyway. Mayors should own and have roots in this town. Period. See, this is the problem. They can up and go when they're ready. And then can I ask a question? Why she didn't rent the moldy house? Why she got to rent another house? Why you just don't live in your moldy house, the Section 8 house, right? If it's not that bad and nothing happened, I would live there. Why not? You know, let's just talk about it. Let's just talk about it. I'm gonna drop the link shortly for people that I know. I know I get a lot of weird people here, but if you send me a little, there you go. But if I was the mayor, I would live in my rental house. Fix it up, live there. Why would you have to rent a house from somebody else? Okay, let me play what's going on in the other let's go on what's going on in the other sectors of our lives, right? Isn't it interesting? And it's just to see the people, like it was almost like vampires today. I was like, oh my gosh. Vote for me. I'm better than
I just wanted to give you a quick rundown on what's going on in the south suburbs if you didn't know how close we are. We're only 13, 14 miles away from all of this in Dolton. So let's start in Dolton. In Dolton last night, it was reported that our mayor may be getting evicted from her home that she's renting in Dolton. In Ford Heights, they have a mayor who has been convicted of embezzling taxpayer money, and he's charged and gone. And you guys, in South Village, the clerk and the mayor are getting physical with each other.
Your wife is doing it in his person. But never point anything in my face again. Do you hear me? Don't point.
And he's charged and gone. And you guys, in South Village, the clerk and the mayor are getting physical with each other.
Okay, wait a minute. I want to show y'all the map. Now, this is the map. And thank you guys. We be respectful over here in this chat. Everybody ideas are welcome. Your opinions are welcome, but we just don't disrespect people over here, okay? So I just want to show y'all how close we are to everything. So Dolton's right there in the corner. You see Tiffany up there, and she's right bordered by South Holland and Harvey and Calumet City and home. This is all that's Thornton Township right over there. Then we go down. We got the mayor of Ford Heights. He right there. Look at him. He now look. Now this is the weird thing about the mayor of Ford Heights. He was mayor in charge. What was like 2016, right? We'll watch a little bit of it. They re-brought him in again. He was still under federal investigation, and the citizens voted him back in. They voted him back in. And then we got South Village. We got the clerk and the mayor for their lives. Oh, we got Gardis Watts. Gardis Watts is coming in. Oh man, David, Lord, thank you, Choose. Get because I can't see. Thank you, Choose. Lord Jesus. Okay, bringing Gardis Watts up here. Hey, Gardis, you're live.
Hey, can you hear me?
We can hear you. How you doing?
I'm good.
We talking about what's going on, and I was trying to adjust the chat, but I guess. But
yeah, I see there's a lot of people in the bushes here. So I thought I'd get on and just kind of talk to the people in the bushes.
Oh Lord, look, save yourself, Gardis. Save yourself.
Yeah.
What do you think about this eviction with Tiffany? What's your thoughts on that?
Something tells me that this. I mean, definitely this is all politically motivated. Who owns the house? Do you know who owns the house?
I've gotten a lot of emails. I have decided not to disclose that, but I know Trina Downs. She did a great breakdown of the whole. If you guys go to Trina Downs' page, maybe I'll play it. But she does the whole breakdown of who owns it, who was friends, and I just decided not to touch that part because I was like, this just seems different.
Yeah. And because I thought about that, because I was like, I wonder who owns the house. First, I'm troubled by the fact that a mayor that is the mayor of a city is renting. That to me seems very problematic. Like I said, I know Jackson in Riverdale. He lives in one of the apartment buildings in Riverdale, and I thought that was just weird as well. So
how do you comment on that? The mayor lives in an apartment in Riverdale?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, he lives in now, mind you, it's one of the few buildings in Riverdale that's kind of like gated, but still, like, why are you living in an apartment? Like, you couldn't get a house or anything. I mean, like, houses in Riverdale aren't really that expensive. I mean, you could get a decent house for like about 200. So I thought that was pretty weird. But I don't know. It's just something just tells me that this is all politically motivated. And even if this is true, it probably won't be a year or maybe two that her and Kamal will, be forcibly evicted from their place, because with Illinois state laws, they favor residents more than they favor the landlords. Because I don't know if you remember, during COVID, they had the government had applied this. They froze evictions, and many people were basically kind of living off of that government law. Actually, it was federal, because nobody could be evicted during that time. And so people took advantage of that. And, they said, I guess Tiffany and Kamal's been living there for 3 years. Well, they said they were only behind, like, what, about because they said it was only like 33.
Yeah, 3,300. They couldn't be behind more than a month. In my opinion, a month or two.
In Dolton.
In Dolton.
Because there was, Cook County, who enforces the evictions, are so far, they're still behind in getting people evicted. I mean, there's still people living in their buildings that are like 3 years behind, and they just haven't got to them yet because of the fact that the courts are so backed up with eviction paperwork. So considering that the courts are still backed up, I don't know when, if Tiffany and Kamal ever get to the point where they have to go to eviction court, they'll, when will it be before they get their stuff thrown out? Maybe 4 or 5 years. And even at that point, filing an eviction case in Cook County, you still get an opportunity to pay your back rent.
Yes, she could have paid it today.
Yeah, she could have paid it today. So that's an interesting scenario, because I think the narrative is, I guess, people and the Dolton politics group where we swim in toxicity, probably pulling out a narrative that they're about to be booted out their house and they're about to be homeless. So I guess because she doesn't, she won't have a home in Dolton, that means that she would be ineligible to be mayor. This is the narrative that they probably want to try to push. I don't know.
Well, can I ask you this? From what I understand, every time I seen a news person go, or anytime I seen a mug shot of Tiffany or a post of Tiffany car, they've used her mother's address. I've never seen them use this address that she's been evicted from for 3 years.
I agree. This is new. Like I didn't even know she lived there. This whole campaign of no, don't get me wrong. Tiffany's a bad mayor, but all of this extra stuff of these memes, like you said, getting her mom involved. I mean, obviously she involved her mom, with that time. I think she might have brought her mom up to the podium to talk, to talk, to stand up for at least more than once at a board meeting. Am I correct on that?
You know what? I saw her mom speak at a board meeting a couple of times, and I think her mom is more interactive with the Dolton politics because of her daughter. But that's all I saw. Like, yeah, I mean, nobody. I can never stand here and be like, Tiffany is the y'all stand for Tiffany. I'm not gonna say that. I'm saying, okay, so if y'all know she's been here 3 years, why we never saw the news when you said we approached her door? You always went to her mama house. You never went to this address. I think they should answer for that too.
Yeah, and I think there's just certain things that are just off limits, and maybe Tiffany probably asked her mom to be involved, which I would never do. So basically, that would be her fault. So Tiffany should never. And even if her mom wanted to stand up for her, I'd be like, no, you sit back and let me deal with it, because as an adult, as an adult person, you never want to involve your family in any of this mess. So I just feel that's pretty weird that she would even allow her mom to speak up for her, because she's a grown woman. She's the mayor of Dolton. She should be able to speak for herself.
Amen. Yeah.
So I don't know why she would even allow her mom to do that. Just like certain people would allow elders to get on their platforms and talk crazy. So if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But even like I said, even if they wanted to do that, out of respect of those elders, I'd be like, no, you can't do that.
Yeah. You keep them safe. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the way you protect your elders, your spouses, your family members, by not getting them involved in your mess.
I was out today and I was going down Lincoln and Sibley, and it was a group of elders just oblivious to what was going on, handing out, trying to get petitions signed, almost getting hit by cars, just looking, it was just wild. And I was like, it's not that they're being pressured. And I'm like, it's not that serious. If we as a community come together, we could be magical. We really could be magical.
Whoa, so people were getting petitions and they were out like
They
literally
were pulling traffic in the middle of the street today to get a petition signed. Yeah.
They were stopping cars?
Stopping cars. Yeah.
Oh,
True
wow.
story. And I was just like, man, and it was so funny because I was with my cousin and she said we went to go get some tacos. She said, girl, by the time we get these tacos, them people gonna be so tired out. They was exhausted. They was gone in 10 minutes. They were gone, like they were exhausted. They was out there with the tambourines and acting up, and then about 20 minutes later, they were gone. They were tired.
Wait a minute. Yeah. Tambourines?
They had tambourines.
Were they in church?
I wish they were. I wish they were. And I'm like, you guys, it's not that serious because at the end of the day, if Tiffany's getting evicted, this is I was gonna play Bo Brinley. He said that it's no record of her having a past due payment. Now, I'm not gonna say I believe what he's saying. I'm not saying that because he's a defense attorney. He got paid, so he's just getting paid and defending her. Mm-hmm. But what if it's not? It's gonna take years. He knows, and you know, and I know, and we all know. It's going to take years for this. October going to be a continuance. The continuance going to go to January. By February, she gone. By March, we'll forget about it. That's just what's happening.
Yeah, like I said, I think they're spinning the narrative. The media, probably some of the people in Dolton politics, spinning it that they're going to kick her out of house before the election, or probably, and probably say, well, she doesn't live anywhere in Dolton, so she's disqualified as the mayor. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, I don't even think, and I'm going to be honest, I'm sitting over here like, you mean to tell me, can I be honest? I'm going to be honest. You guys, everybody listening in the chat, you mean to tell me you only had one report of this house in 3 years that Tiffany been stealing money, allegedly? And y'all, nobody else, I, as Burgundy Blue Commentary, this is me saying it, I've had more people surveilling my house than Tiffany. You mean to tell me this the only inkling y'all get that somebody's following Tiffany at this 14600 Harvard block? That is not possible. I'm sorry. It's not possible. That's my thought.
No, you're right. And like I said, 3,300, like you said, maybe they're paying 1,500 a month. It's not like they're, more than 3 months behind. So like I said, I like you said, she probably paid this over the weekend or something like that. Cause
she turned in her Louis Vuitton bag and said, here you go.
Cause stuff like this happens to everyday people. Like people are very much, behind in their rent. I mean, if you look at the economy now, there's probably a lot of people facing eviction, including some of the people in Dolton. So I don't know. Maybe this might make her look like an ordinary resident that's facing problems that everybody else is facing. Cause
yeah, I agree. Gardis, are you still there?
Evictions of a lot of Dolton residents.
Oh, okay.
I'm here.
Okay, go ahead.
So I'm sure that probably most of the abandoned houses that are in Dolton right now is because people were evicted. So Dolton has a high eviction rate.
We have a high squatter. We have a lot of squatters too.
And this is why even if this is true, it's like it'll be 2-3 years before they get forced out, because
So
they have squatters. They have a lot of squatters laws
yeah.
in Illinois. So
Mhm. Now, Gardis, can I ask you a question?
mhm.
Because I would love to stay on Tiffany, but I am confusion. Y'all know me. I am group. I am confusion. When What do you think about the Ford Heights mayor? So he was charged with this. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but he was charged with possibly embezzling taxpayer funds in 2016. He stayed to 2021, and then they put 2020. They put in another mayor, and then voted him back in. What do you think about that?
Yeah, we talked about that. Actually, I remember bringing that up a couple of months ago on your show,
Mm-hmm.
because I was combing through the Fort Heights meeting agenda. This is when everybody was combing through Dolton's meetings and stuff like that. So I decided to go to Fort Heights because they have their meeting minutes on their website. And
Yeah.
sure enough, I made that connection with Delgado, because apparently back in 2021 they made a settlement with the Delgado law firm because they were behind in their legal bills.
Yes, you surely did. You sure, you know, I'm gonna replay that, but you surely did. Because this is very interesting to me that now he has been indicted, charged, whatever, it's over for him. And he's over here in Fort Heights. The people voted him back in, even when he was accused of stealing money.
Yeah, well, who's the people that's living there now? They're probably people that would rather be somebody else, but probably because of their economic situation, they got to be there. I mean, I just can't imagine, like, if you've driven through Fort Heights recently,
I go get my hair done over that way. I drive through there. Yeah.
I would venture to say that most of those people there, if they had an option to go somewhere else, they would go somewhere else.
They are losing population daily. Actually, I was listening to a report today. I find that interesting. But now, this is the weird thing, Gardis. I didn't know, because I don't know about politics like that. He left, but most of his board is loyal to him, and they're standing trying to protect this seat for someone that will still do the same things that he would do, allegedly.
Well, I mean, it's like the township board. They want to probably put somebody in there that they can control, and it's happening over in Fort Heights. Yeah, I don't know what it is with the Southland, but apparently, boards and mayors are at odds with each other. Nobody's really willing to work together, and you see this in many municipalities and many organizational settings like school boards and the water department and several other places. I mean, I would recommend people go to some of these school boards and find out the divide, with school board members, with certain people who support certain superintendents, and those who oppose certain superintendents, those who oppose initiatives, and those who support initiatives. It's really crazy. I mean, obviously you have Darlene, who's over on 149 School.
Oh wait, we lost you. We
School
lost
board.
you. There you go.
There are several politicians. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you lose me?
You said Darlene was at 149 and then you cut off.
Oh, okay. So if you look at 149 School Board, there are a couple of politicians there. Like, they're holding that seat, and they're holding another seat at another governmental organization.
You are right. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. So then you look at 205. There are people there who are holding, this whole thing of holding 2 seats, 2 electoral seats seems to be one of the major issues on why a lot of this stuff is happening. I'm just kind of throwing that out there, but one of the commonalities I've seen with a lot of this stuff is the fact that some of these people who are on these seats are actually holding 2 electoral seats.
They really are. And they're holding this board, and they're like, "Oh, I'm not getting paid for this board seat," but they're holding another seat. Lastly, oh, go ahead.
So I remember having this conversation with Trina about I think there was an Illinois statute made it illegal for Illinois politicians to hold seats that were, how should I put it? There was a law saying that you can't hold 2 seats if one supersedes the other.
Yeah.
So for instance, nobody can be like the mayor of Chicago and be the governor of Illinois at the same time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You can't you can't do that. However, I think the argument is, especially in Tiffany's case, is that because she's the supervisor of the township, so the township is, while it is a governmental organization, it does not govern the 17 municipalities. So it doesn't have like a police department or fire station that supplies like governmental services to these municipalities. They provide social services to them. So the supervisor, even though Tiffany used to say that a lot, that she's over these 17 municipalities, she's not over these 17 municipalities. So it's kind of like an offset type of governmental agency that is basically in the area. So probably in a legal sense, her seat as the Dolton mayor does not conflict with her seat as the supervisor, because of the fact that those are 2 separate entities, and that Dolton does not, being mayor of Dolton does not, any governmental decisions that she makes does not significantly impact what happens in the township, and vice versa. So she can't like say, for instance, as the supervisor of Thornton Township, she can't like reprimand employees at Dolton or anything like that, or do anything, like I said, like a mayor could do in the city of Dolton. So that's why she probably works around that law.
I can see that. I can understand that. And that's what Choose was saying too. She's like, I've been trying to say that because she feels like she's over something, but it's not the truth. But she still has like some kind of umbrella over the township, and it's kind of like, if I want to say, intimidating. If that's what I want to say, yeah, I can see that.
And somebody was saying about funds, but the problem is that the funds are different than government, than making municipal codes and legislation. Because the thing is that, say for instance, the state of Illinois can make legislations that can affect the city of Chicago. This is why you can't be Chicago mayor and the Illinois governor.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
So whatever laws that the township makes, it really won't apply to Dolton if Dolton doesn't want to adhere to it. So the thing is that this is the difference between, because I know people come up with the argument about the funding, and yes, the township can channel funding into Dolton, which could affect Dolton in some respects, but it doesn't, like, say for instance, if the township takes away funding from Dolton or whatever funding that it has, it's not going to bankrupt Dolton. So it doesn't like really affect the economy of Dolton if say let's say for instance Dolton decides to separate from the township and be like a I guess be like an unincorporated version of a township. So like say Dolton is not in the township anymore. Doesn't mean like Dolton's going to lose anything, because we all know from Frank's last couple of administrations, he never did anything in Dolton because of the fact that he had issues with Riley Rogers. So it really doesn't make a difference. So I think people have to understand that she has this workaround because of the fact that the two governmental entities don't conflict the way superseding governments do, because the township is not like your ordinary government, like a city or a state, or even even in that sense, it doesn't conflict them. And like I said, funds are different because the Dolton, like the 17 municipalities, don't rely on the township funds, even though they may get some money from them, but it's not like because tomorrow they could say, hey, we're not paying the Thornton Township tax. and themselves from the township.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my goodness. Gardis, and look, I'm not gonna hold you, but and you don't have to answer this question.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about what's going on in Sauk Village? I'm still shook. You guys, have y'all saw that Sauk Village video with the clerk and the mayor? And then the mayor, after I started to watch it a little more, and I'm like, the mayor's wife should have been removed from the. And I'm not married, you guys, but I feel like the mayor's wife should have been removed from the session. I'm gonna play a little bit of it right now. The mayor are getting physical with each other.
Your wife is doing it is personal. But never point anything in my face again. Do you hear me? Don't point an object in my face. That was I'm gonna knock you upside your head. Please do.
And that's the mayor and the clerk. What do y'all think? Gardis, what's your thoughts on that in the middle of a board meeting?
Well, the wife was screaming at the clerk before that whole incident happened, right?
I agree. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just gonna say this, and I'm gonna give a bunch of. I'm gonna let you figure out what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
I don't want to say it out loud.
You don't have to say anything, but no. I'm just wondering, like, what do you feel about? I feel like nothing's in order in the room, but I'll let you go ahead.
Yeah. So when people get to that level of conflict, they're mostly, and I'm not going to say all the time, but mostly there was some because I don't know the history between
we lost him
the
again.
mayor and this clerk, but I'm assuming that they were close at one time, and probably closer than most people would expect.
Me too. I agree.
Which brings me to the wife, because listen, even if there was an argument between the clerk and the mayor, and the wife steps in, and certain names that she called her, that really brings some suspicion that maybe she kind of suspects that at one point or another there might have been some quote unquote closeness between the mayor and this clerk. Because if you listen to some of the names that she called her, because that's names you typically call a woman who has been doing something with your husband or significant other. So I'm thinking there might be some what did Jada Pinkett say?
What was that called? I forgot. What was it called? Entanglement.
Entanglement going on.
I forgot about the entanglements.
And this is all speculation. So
Yeah.
I'm not saying that this is true.
It's
Allegedly.
Just yeah.
Allegedly. But those type of temperaments, especially in that particular situation, is this sounds like there was some entanglements going on with this whole situation, because relationships that fall out this hard, there has to be a level of intimacy. This is why, like, when couples break up, especially after they become intimate, there's this level of animosity, and it's hard. It's like, rarely do you see, because I know some people want to be friends after they break up and everything like that, but it's just it's almost impossible when you do that, especially if it's something that if there was an event that happened that forced the breakup.
Yeah, that's why we have so many crimes of passion, salaciousness, right?
Oh, exactly. And so, I think we had this conversation before. Sometimes those relationships they seem to have the most aggressive form of animosity. So I just got a feeling, I like I said, I may be wrong, but
I feel the same way. I'm like, some man, right? So the way that wife was going in, get you a man, get you
see, those were the buzzwords right there. Those were the buzzwords. Like, listen, I know a wife, because the thing is, as much as we as men protect our women, protect our wives, protect our, daughters and sisters and whatever, they also, it's reciprocal. And so, in a sense, when women start acting out like that, they're being protective of their husbands. and it seems like she was being very protective of her husband when she told that woman that. Like, why would you say that? Why would any woman say that to another woman, even if even if they were arguing with, their man or their husband or whatever? There makes no sense unless there's a reason behind it.
But it's going to be a bigger problem because it's a clerk and it's a mayor involved. This is going to be a pickle. My last question to you, Gardis, is there something in the water in the Southland? What is going on? When you look at this map I created, is it something in the water in the Southland? What is happening?
Well, looking at the map, you start to see a growing population of Black folks from the city coming into a lot of these areas. And this is including South Holland as well. And many Black folks are being forced out of Chicago for various reasons, economics, the violence, despite the fact that the violence happens in the Southland as well. But at the same time, this is basically part of the reverse migration that many sociologists have been talking about for like the last couple of years, because you start to see a decline in Chicago population, especially amongst the Black community. And many Black folks that are moving out of Chicago are mostly moving south, and not like the Southland, but I'm talking about like the southern part of the United States. So it's like a reverse migration, because back in the early 20th century, Black folks were moving from the South to the North. But Chicago is a city where people are being gentrified out, people are being priced out, and this area is probably just maybe the first stop, or maybe some people's permanent stop to to the South. A lot of this actually also happened too when they tore the projects down. When they tore down Robert Taylor homes, when they tore down Cabrini Green, many of those folks who couldn't live in, who couldn't get a house or wasn't promised a house in certain areas in the cities, moved out here. And they moved out to different suburbs in the area. Now, mind you, there were certain cities who wouldn't take them in because they still had those redlining covenants that were still in place when white people were here. And I would use the example of South Holland. South Holland had certain restrictive covenants as well, because 30 years ago, this South Holland was predominantly white. Now it's like 80% black, because you have more middle-class black people coming up in here, moving in homes. Now, when I moved out here with my wife, you couldn't live in South Holland unless you owned your house. There were no renters here.
No apartments.
There's no apartment buildings. The only situation you can live in South Holland is if you owned your house. And there were no, and at the time there were no Section 8 people either. But what happened was the federal government came down on South Holland about that. So they had to allow a limited amount of Section 8 in the city. So, but those covenants were put in place to keep poor black folks out. And even though it may not look racist, I mean, technically it is, because majority of the majority of the black residents are renters. And some are people who cannot pay a certain amount of money, money per month. This is why you get, mostly blacks on Section 8. So, yeah, I mean, and a lot of these people are migrating to this section of the Chicagoland area.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, I mean, but they can only strategically move them into certain areas. Like I said, I'm not sure about Homewood, but places like Harvey and Riverdale, those places allowed Section 8, and, obviously Dolton and Chicago Heights and Ford Heights. I'm starting to see, Section 8 people out in Matson and Olympia Fields. So I mean, you getting them out there. Country Club Hills, another place where there's certain folks out there. Now, it hasn't populated to Oak Forest yet, because it's still majority white over there, and I think they're holding on. The white folks over there are holding on to their property, so they probably won't be selling it to anybody that looks like us, unless you are a doctor or a lawyer or make
it's so close to Orland. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's so close to Orland. It's like kind of like a border town where they're not trying to let the niggers that far west.
Yeah, because they saw what happened to Country Club Hills. I'm not trying to do it.
Yes, choose Section 8 is in Country Club Hills.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's interesting to see that, like, to see this map and to see how Matson used to be Olympia. I remember going to Country Club Hills. That was like, I knew only one black family there growing up. And now just to see the difference. And then when I see it's a City Trends over there, I'm like, what's this, a City Trends over here? No, like, this Country Club Hills is totally different. I think Stager's holding on to what they need, and Oak Forest is holding on. But Crete has its issues for sure. They're really close to Ford Heights and stuff, and Chicago Heights. But
and one last thing too, because the CTA is still talking about this project to expand the red line down to 135th Street.
Ooh, okay.
And but you know, that actually has been talked about for like the last 40 years. But in all honesty, I think if that does happen, because there's been some traction on it lately, and I think they might be talking about doing that within the next 10 years. I can assume that if they do that, then best believe that's one of their plans to kind of like get all the black folks out of the city. Because at that point, you're going to start gentrifying areas like Roseland, where, you know, 95th is at. Yeah. So Roseland, which some parts of Roseland already are being gentrified. But, you know, Roseland and Pullman and in those areas, they're going to populate those people right on the border of Chicago, where, what is it? The Algal Gardens and Riverdale neighborhood, not the Riverdale city, which actually ironically is next to each other. But yeah, they're moving them over there, and what's over there but nothing but landfills, because, you know, typically in the summertime, especially on a hot day, you can smell that garbage area.
You definitely can. It's just like so weird because Dolton is an amazing place land wise. Like, I was listening to Trina when she was talking about possibly running for mayor, how you could take a water taxi from here to downtown or to the marina down to Hammond. Like, we're in the center of everything.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, strategically, it does look like it's in a good location.
It is. And when you look at, like you said, them bringing the train out to 135th, I remember, this might have been before my time, but I remember catching the Metro, and when they made that train that went from downtown to Richland Park started to change, and University Park started to change too. And so I could see the difference probably happening. And I don't know why that is. Like, just because they started to bring, I remember my grandmother saying, I never want to live anywhere where they bring a bus line out because it's going to be a problem. And sometimes you see that, and that's so unfortunate.
What did I just say about the red line expansion?
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So here we are in the center of Dolton. We don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to tell you one thing, Gardis. I am ready for this election, because it seems like, just looking at this map, all these people, it's just turning. The mayor, for instance, Stock Village, and the mayor, I guess they're both, the clerk is thinking about running for mayorship now. And in Fort Heights, they're trying to, it's one woman that wants to run for a mayor. She's a head trustee, but the other trustees voted for another person to run for mayor. And now we're here in Dolton. So I'm ready for it all to be over.
Well, we got to get past the presidential election first, which that's another whole mess as well.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I wonder how many people are gonna be voting for that, and contrast that with their actual elections that, you know, take place within their villages and cities. I'm assuming Dolton might have maybe a little bit more turnout. I'm actually predicting maybe a 30% participation rate.
I think so. I think you're right. I'm pushing for people to come out and vote, but I'm also pushing for them to get the absentee ballots that they need to, because of what's going on, like the pressure. It's just too much pressure for a lot of.
We don't need people to be out in the actual streets getting hit by, you know, almost getting hit by cars getting signatures, because that
doesn't make sense.
That was crazy.
It was crazy today. I said, and I thought, you know, it's weird because some of the Christian, sometimes I think it's the Hebrew Israelites and the Christian based people, the
the Jehovah's Witnesses. Sometimes they just be out. So I assume they were out there handing out pamphlets. And I looked, they said petition people. I said, get out the street. They were acting like they were the people that beat the drums. You know, the drummer boys that you go on Stony Island and they beating the drums. That's what they were acting like stop it. I'm like, you guys, you're not in the drill team. It's a way to get petition signatures. This is not the way. You're going to have to ask somebody more than 3 questions. All of those petitions, in my opinion, going to be contested, because I can imagine how someone could write their name, print their name, address, and signature at a stoplight more than 30 seconds. It was just insane. It was insane.
Do you think it'll be Tiffany's people or Jason's people that would contest?
I know for sure the people that were at the stoplight were not Tiffany's people.
Okay.
Yeah.
But do you think Tiffany's attorneys will contest those signatures?
You know what? I'm starting to think if Tiffany even gonna really, really run in real life. I'm starting to really have second thoughts about that. If she's doing stuff like, in my opinion, this is just me talking, you guys. This is not Gardis' opinion. If she's doing stuff like rehiring these old chiefs and all that stuff, I'm wondering how serious she is about running again.
Oh, well, let me ask you this before I go. Who was the woman that was on that you talked about a couple of weeks ago that was also running for mayor?
Oh yeah, I forgot her last name. But yeah, that I forgot her name. Yes.
So I'm assuming people within certain camps have been calling for her to, not run because she, quote unquote, will split the vote. Do you think she has a chance?
If she was more participative, if that's a word, in the community, I would think so. I feel like she's a solid person, but I feel like she needs, like we were discussing on that live with Big Mike, she needs more than just her and one trustee. Like a trustee that's only been here a year. He hasn't even hit the Tiffany Henyard situation. And then she's been here 16 years, and allegedly she hasn't came to a lot of the board meetings. That's what people are saying. So if you're not a part, that's what they're going to be looking at, because now everybody's a board meeting expert.
Oh yeah, everybody's everybody's
analysis.
Everybody's an expert at the for OMA, so everybody's an OMA lawyer now. But you know what? Remember, she showed up at the special board meeting, which I was actually surprised. She showed up, and you can tell, like, when she asked her question and the vitriol that she got from the trustees, and some of the residents too. It was pretty interesting.
Because at the end of the day, it's a game. It's either you with us or against. It's a whole when you go to those meetings. Now, I'm not gonna lie. If she's talking about the support she have in her community and the people saying we really want you to win, she really could win. Look at Tiffany. Look at Tiffany at the end of the hour getting Frank's seat. It's about support. So I can't rule her out. I cannot rule. I heard she's very popular in the area. I heard she's an amazing business person in the area. So I can never just look at what's going on at the board meetings. I will say that, because who knows what kind of charitable deeds she's done in the neighborhood, because a lot of real core voters are quiet, Gardis. They are silent because they want to be away from this drama. So who knows?
Unfortunately, they might have to bring in election observers, because there is a high probability of voter suppression that might happen in this election. I mean, we're already talking about political bullying already, and we ain't even close to the elections yet. So there has to be some sort of there got to be some observers. There got to be some election observers coming in and making sure that people are, by their rightful law, able to elect, be to cast a ballot without being bullied, without being harassed, without, forcibly trying to change their vote, that type of thing. So, I see it coming. I mean, it's just like what happened in Harvey a couple of years ago when Kellogg was running. Apparently, a couple of years ago, there was a female candidate that was there. Can't remember her name, but she was probably one of the few people that was close to giving Kelly a challenge. And apparently Kelly got some thugs on the street to kind of suppress some of her supporters not to come out to the polls. So there was some voter suppression going on in Harvey, and I just got a feeling that something might be happening in Dolton in February as well.
I'm sure. And it's like people don't want to be bothered. They're like, we're almost in our homes where we're just like, hey, we've been living this long, ain't nothing gonna happen. No matter, it's nothing gonna change, good or bad, no matter who takes over. It's all a fight for the throne. Now, I remember when Lewis was here, it was a water main break every 2 days, right? And now we got Tiffany. Now it's another situation, but it's no water main breaks. It's always going to be something. So it's like maybe we just don't, we just have to wait to see. We have to wait to see. I agree with Choose. Choose said it's a lot of young people out here. They're thinking a whole different way. I don't know which way they're going to go, Choose, but I do know that Tiffany Henyard got a lot of the streets. She got these youth. I am sorry. They are right. If you say something bad about Tiffany, these youth, I'm going to be real. You don't see a lot of the elders bring their kids to the board meeting that are like 18, 30, 25. These elders got kids my age, 40 something. Their kids ain't at that board meeting. A lot of them riding with Tiffany. Tiffany has helped a lot of them. I'm ready to argue.
Well, here's the thing, because most of those youth aren't of voting age. And the only youth that's of voting age are the ones who are possibly seniors in high school.
Exactly. And Tiffany but look at when you see Tiffany events, you see nothing but young people. Now, not big bingo, but when you see her events in Dolton, young people, she's getting those 18 and up. When you see those elders arguing with Tiffany at the podium, how old do you think their kids are? 40 and under.
Yeah, that's true.
And a lot of them worked for Dolton, and they have asked for jobs for their kids in Dolton.
Yeah, and then, also with, I wouldn't say the elders that we normally see at the board meetings, but majority of the elders, they like big bingo. And it's unfortunate because I remember when that whole big bingo thing, when they started to, I guess they want to report certain people who wanted big bingo to the IRS, because big bingo is an illegal function because they were giving out prizes more than what the Illinois statute says. And I mean, we got political bullying there as well. Like, literally, for real, you gonna report people who wanted big bingo to the IRS?
Yeah. I think that's sad, but like even now when they say they didn't want to do big bingo, I think it's up for Tiffany. I know this is a hard hill, but can't still have big bingo. I think she should still have it, but maybe she should look into whoever will sponsor her. All those people that was getting that money through the township, the cakes and the barbecue and the chicken. Hey, why don't y'all sponsor some gift certificates? Why don't y'all, maybe reach out? That's the only way to go, because if I wouldn't even fight the prizes anymore because they're gonna find anything wrong with something. And I have a special place in my heart for Big Bingo because people always say it's the seniors, but also special needs people, they participate in special need adults. They participate in Big Bingo too, and they look forward to it a lot.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But
So it's a lot of disabled and mentally impaired and all different. They all go to, it's not just seniors. A lot of different people go to Big Bingo every month.
yeah, that's true. But
Yeah.
like I said, I'm interested to see what's going to happen after the election. I'm just anxious for it to be over with.
Me too. Well, I got a fast car. I got to get up out of here. But Gardis, I appreciate your intellect all the time.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. You have a great night.
All right, you too.
Gardis said he gonna stick around. I'm be somewhere on Hawaii. Choose. We still going to Hawaii. We still doing 90-day fiance. Choose. We gonna find us some 90-day fiance brothers and be over there in Hawaii somewhere with a pina colada waiting on the votes for Dolton. Because this is crazy. This is crazy, right? Thank you to Gardis for coming in here. I just wanted to have a chit chat with you guys tonight, talk with you guys tonight on what you guys really think. This is still a serious topic, but I think that a lot of things, they're putting 20 on 10 for a lot of things. But I will say this: if the mayor did not pay her rent, that means that I have to eat crow on everything I thought, because I'm sitting over here like, girl, I know you paying your rent. Like, girl, I know you paying your rent. Like, I just know that. And if you're not, my God, like, does that mean, so we have to wait. October 22nd will be what we find out. So let's go to what her lawyer said tonight. And let me tell you, lawyers are freaking expensive. So the fact that she has to defend this, I don't know. I don't know. So let's go to let's go 2 minutes ago. Tiffany, Henyard, and boyfriend given eviction notice, court docs. You know what? I want not my boyfriend. I want my mayor not to have a boyfriend. I don't know why. Why am I being so judgmental right there? That I can accept. I am very judgmental right there. Why do I not want my mayor to have a boyfriend? It's something wrong with me. It's really something wrong with me. I don't want my mayor to have a boyfriend. That is so sad. Okay, let's go to, do y'all feel like that, or am I weird? Let's go to this. As a single woman, shame on me. I don't want my mayor to have a boyfriend.
Mayor Tiffany Henyard has been hit with an eviction lawsuit. NBC5 has obtained a copy of an eviction notice filed in Cook County Court. It names Henyard and her boyfriend, Kamal Woods, who is a Thornton Township employee. The court filing says Henyard and Woods are behind $3,350 in rent for their home in Dolton. The couple has been given 5 days to vacate or sign a new lease and pay all owed rent. When reached by NBC5, Henyard's landlord didn't want to comment on the details of the lawsuit. We also reached out to Henyard for comment, but have not heard back.
Okay, so why the landlord doesn't want to talk? She probably got paid. That's my opinion. When you get that 5-day notice, it's like you got 5 days notice or to vacate. So she filed that 5-day notice or to vacate. I'm assuming Tiffany probably paid it by now, but I don't. Okay, so I'm sorry, y'all. I just feel like it's something missing there.
It's something with this that just don't connect the dots, if you will. And thank you, Choose. Sorry. It's just something. It's just something weird there with this whole eviction thing. But if she is neglecting to pay her rent, that is a problem. What's the other thing? It's one more. Let's see. Bo Brindley made a statement. I have it. Do I have it here? Okay. The law office of Bo Brindley. Let's share that. Hey, you guys, I forgot to ask. If you can, share, like the stream. Channel support is Cash App. Please, please, please. Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. You don't have to do anything. You being here is enough. Just letting you know. Okay, it says the law offices of Bo Brindley released the following statement Sunday on Henyard's behalf. This complaint is not brought in good faith. No proof of missed payment can be produced, as no payment has ever been missed. This is being brought based on ill motives and will not stand up in the face of scrutiny. I'm worried about if it's going to stand up at the eviction court. I don't know about scrutiny. I don't care about scrutiny. Is we or is we not? Will it be an eviction court? I don't care about scrutiny. We get scrutinized every day. Oh my goodness. So there we have it. Hey, oh, thanks for being here. Now in Illinois, you get a 5-day notice, Conscious. Don't ask me how I know, child. That's weird. If someone being funny about my money and the media hit me up, I'd be at the press conference with Lecter Vice hair and make them spill it all the goodness. That is so funny. Jason House has been talking to the conspiracy. Why don't they have all the documents? Very true. Very true. This is a good question, Conscious. This is why we have to connect the dots. Like, I'm not even trying to be funny because it's like you pay your rent, right? Because this is the like y'all can, let me be real. Y'all can get on me all day long about how I'm a bad mayor. But me being a mother and a person that keep their home. And again, I'm going to ask you guys before we get off this live, have you ever seen a Tiffany Henyard expose when they're running to her house and they're going to this 14600 Harvard? When they all go to her house, they're like, and we went to her home. They go to the mother's house. Why they never went to 14600 if she's been there 3 years? I'm just asking. For years, y'all seen them. We went to just put in like anything. They're like she's facing eviction. They went to the rental house, they went to her mother's house, but they never went to 14600 Harvard. But yet they say 14600 Harvard is the place that they went to. I mean, the place that she's being evicted from. Every board meeting, I implore you, go by. Every board meeting, it's a cop outside her house 24/7. It's always the mama house. Y'all have not seen no one say that 14600 address. That's the only thing that pings in my head. You know? Miss Troy, Mr. Troy, you're so right. Why she wouldn't just, okay, remember the moldy house? Why she just wouldn't fix that house up and live in it, right? But I'm going to be honest. If Mr. Troy, if you want me to give you the honesty, I'm going to tell you. You guys, hit the like button. We only got 72 likes. We had 104 people watching. Can you hit the like button? Also, I have a $20 goal for this live video. That's it. $20 goal. 20 people, $1. That is fine. Cash App,
my little Cash App QR code is above. That's it. That's all. We've been on here an hour and 37 minutes. So I officially asked for the gold because guess what happened? Guess what happened, Choose? We was long.
Can I be recognized, Mayor?
You want to be long-winded? I'm just asking.
Okay. I'm gonna give you a secret that only one person probably know in this whole live. It's a bougie part of Dolton, Mr. Troy. It's a bougie part of Dolton. Where Tiffany had that mold problem at, it wasn't the bougie part of Dolton. Where Tiffany alleged address is semi-bougie. So that's my thoughts on the whole situation. Now, y'all can get mad at me if you want to. I'm just being honest. Dolton have parts in it where some people be like, you live on that side of Dolton, you live on that side of Dolton. It's just what it is. It's an older side of Dolton. It's a newer side of Dolton. It's a better side of Dolton that's closer to South Holland. I'm not lying. It's just what it is. I'm not trying to. It's just what it is. It's just what it is. Hey, potato. You know? So over there, they had 146 in Harvard. They had like they started new construction and it was just all these houses that look exactly the same and then they stopped it. It's almost like if you guys are familiar and you're in this chat, the Greenwood remember when they started those Greenwood townhomes, built 6 of them, was supposed to cascade all the way down to the Calumet City border and they stopped. It's like that. It's like that kind of area, Mr. Troy, just so you know. So Michigan, Indiana is no shade, but when you cross Indiana going towards Harvey, that's a different side. That's the west side of Dolton. It's a different side of Dolton. When you going towards South Holland, you almost can mesh. Like I have a friend, she bought a house a block away from South Holland. She'd be like, why? But you're right there. And then it's other parts of Dolton, like you got right over the railroad tracks. That's the older part, the historical part of Dolton. So yeah, I think it's sometimes that people be looking at things in a classist way. And you should look at, that's why I think we need aldermen. That's why I think Dolton needs aldermen for sure. We need aldermen because a lot of parts of Dolton are neglected, even though it's only 4 to 5 miles. It's neglected in a lot of ways, and houses are abandoned in a lot of ways, and people just want to move to the new construction, if you will. Hey, Mike, what's up? I'm just saying, like, it's a different area. Dolton is Dolton, but it's just newer areas of brick. Dolton started frame houses and wood and siding, and then it went to brick houses, and then it went from carports to garages. Then it went from that to we're gonna go ahead and do driveways. It's just different sides. You could tell the progression of Dolton. And some people move to I'm gonna move to the 150 something side because that's more. I don't know what I want to say, but when you go from 138 to Dolton to 150 something, it progresses. If that makes sense, and a lot of people feel that way. Like somebody be like, "Where you live?" I be like, "Oh, I live on 100," and they be like, "Oh." But if you say you live on 150, oh, okay, you over there by New Christian Valley? Oh, okay, you good then. You know, that's just how it is. I hate to say it. I'm going to always give it to you 1,000. I'm going to give it to you 1,000. I'm going to give it to you 1,000. And that's what I think it is. Yeah. Hey, Big Mike. Aldermen are for cities, villages have trustees. I know, but we need aldermen. We need people to be in control of their zones, Big Mike. That's just how I feel. I just feel like people need to be in control of their areas. Like, even if they're trustees, they have to be in control of their areas.
And I'm gonna end it there, y'all. I appreciate everybody for joining tonight. Oh wait, let's listen to this. We might say the better solution is to have an ordinance where a certain area of Dolton can send one person as a trustee to the village. The big question is to how to regulate that. Thank you. Thank you for that. That's true. I'm gonna leave that up here. And Chu said thank you for that as well. And Chavis get us laughing. Y'all, it's been great talking with you tonight. I just wanted to talk about this eviction situation. I didn't know we were gonna be long-winded. I just want y'all to let you know where my mind is. I do want to leave you with the next subject we're gonna be talking about on my channel, because I do have to worry about Cody Brown. It's been 2 weeks. I know my sister wide people are like, what is going on? But let's bring up the next video you'll see tomorrow. Hold on, sorry guys. And remember, if you guys can, my goal is $20 for this live. I have to say that I have a mentor now on social media that's trying to keep me to stay there, but I have $20 goal for this live. You don't have to give me anything. Stay on the live, enjoy. But I do try to make a $20 goal because I don't have a big YouTube channel. So some of my videos are just like $3 a video. So I don't make a lot of money on YouTube, but I enjoy you guys. Let's go to what we're going to be talking about next. And this is I'm sorry, I have to make sure I have everything clear. So this is we're going to be talking about next. So it's this story I've been following. It's in a Ohio mayor. I'm sorry, not a mayor, because I wanted to get out of that. I'm following a mayor in Ohio, but no, this is an Ohio professor, a doctor. Last year, we talked about it on Burgundy Blue Commentary. He was, if you guys heard this story, he was killed in his home by a young lady. We're going to have this story up tomorrow. I want to know your thoughts on this. The young lady was just sentenced. She did get 23. She got probation in 23 years. So parole in 23 years is what I'm going to say. I'm sorry. This story is very interesting to me because it's about dating and dating apps and professional and classes and all that stuff. Oh my God, Tracy, don't have me laugh. Tracy said she played. That's my favorite song. I play that a lot. But this is what we'll be covering next on Burgundy Blue Commentary. Let me know if you heard of this story, because the parents are really acting up. And I have a question. How did this professor meet this young lady? Why did he bring her to his house? And we're going to be discussing this. And have you ever been on a dating app and the first date is someone asking you to come to their house? Let's just talk about it. So the young man was 40, in his 40s. The woman he invited over was in her 30s. And you guys, I'm giving you a little background because we're going to play this tomorrow. She went from regular, degler, schmegler, right? To this like princess. And now she's like a soft stud, sort of. But she has 23 years in prison. And it's just really an interesting story. Y'all let me know if you've ever been on a dating app, if you'd ever go to somebody's house, just because they said they were upper echelon. It's about class and stuff like that. I really want y'all thoughts on this. So this is what we'll be covering tomorrow. Something different from my channel. So let's talk about it.
Utah never got the chance to pick up his children ever again. They never got to say goodbye.
An emotional day in court as the family of a Cleveland State assistant.
I thought this was can y'all see this? Y'all can't see. Sorry, I'm on a different. Tiffany, you take over my whole. Tiffany takes over everything. Okay, let's see. All right, let's see if I can share this. Tiffany takes over my whole screen, y'all. I got Tiffany. All right, let's go, guys.
Because of you, Todd never got the chance to pick up his children ever again. They never got to say goodbye.
An emotional day in court as the family of a Cleveland State assistant professor who was murdered last year spoke to the killer. The woman was in court today for sentencing after pleading guilty yesterday. Our Mitty Hicks joins us now with the tales in this. Mitty, good evening.
Good evening, Russ. Well, the courtroom was full of emotions as those closest to Todd Morgan told Judge Allison Breaux to give Terriana Paschal the maximum sentence. The judge heard from 4 of his family members, including his mom, a cousin, brother, and mother of one of his children. Paschal pleaded guilty to aggravated murder and a gun charge. She was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 23 years. Morgan was a professor at Cleveland State University. His family called Hudson police in April of last year for a wellness check after he missed picking up his daughter from school. Inside his home was a scene his family told the judge they still can't comprehend.
I just want you to know how many lives you've affected by this.
I screamed. From that day forward, my life has changed. I'm sad most of the time.
Now, Paschal still hasn't said why she committed the crime. If she does get parole, she will be put on the violent offender database where she will have to enclose her personal details for at least 10 years after release, Russ.
Okay. Mitty Hicks.
Now, I'm going to keep it 100. Okay, so do you know how they found her? Through a black and mild. We got to talk about this tomorrow. They found at the house of this man two black and milds, right? Then they went on this young lady Facebook and found a picture of her smoking the same black and mild. And they started to research her. These people were from 2 different worlds. Not saying that it can't happen. Love is love. I believe in that. They found her through a black and mild. So it took him in the morning. He invited her to his home. He was supposed to pick up his daughter, I guess, for school the next day or later that day, and never came to pick her up. And that's how they found him deceased. She won't disclose why she got such a lenient sentence. She won't disclose how she found him. We're going to talk about this story tomorrow. I find this story they're trying to protect his legacy a little bit. I hate to say like that, but it's some other things I want to share with you. And I also found some Illinois ties in this whole mystery. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow. Yeah, they found it through a black and mild. And it's like this whole thing where it's a professor murdered by this woman, but it's like no, we need to know. So, and this is how she looked before. This is another thing. When he met her, let's go through let's go to it. Let's talk about it really quickly. I cannot wait to discuss this with you. This is how this was her arrest photo. So this was her arrest photo, but by the time she got to jail, this is how she was looking. Totally different. This is very interesting. Now, I do know that it's a new culture of dating online. I think a lot of people are more comfortable with it than like me and Chu saying stranger danger and meeting people online. But it's like, how else are you going to meet people, right? So I get that. But this story is so, I don't know why.
he's a PhD professor, and I'm not downing her as well. I'm just trying to see, why won't they release? If you Google this, nobody will release the website they met at. They will not release where this lady met this man and he said, come to my house. They look at these two. They will not release where they met to say that. And I'm not saying look at the color, look at anything like that. I'm saying did they meet on what's that thing you swipe, Tinder? Did they meet on BLK? Where did they meet for him to say, hey, you know what, today come to my house and I got to pick up my daughter at 4? They will not release that. And I think that's so interesting. And I think that's why she got a lenient sentence. And she did apologize to the family. She shot him like 7 times in his home. I remember if I met somebody online, it would be like a coffee date, like a Starbucks or something like that. Like if I was, okay, we'll meet at Starbucks. You're not coming to my house. And they said they only had one conversation, and this professor said, and then the parents are like, oh, he trusted her. He had 2 little girls in his household, a PhD. I need to know more. Like, y'all can't, I feel like they don't want the people to know that the family was like, you know what? So more information does not get out. Let's just seal the case. But yeah, they found her via a black and mild. That is really interesting. It's something fishy. But yeah, we're going to talk about that tomorrow on my channel. I just thought that was an interesting story, and people were outraged that she got 23 years and then she has a chance at parole. I think after 23 years, Lord willing, I'm still here, I think she'll be paroled, because it's a reason that they don't want us to know what dating site, nothing was taken from his home. He wasn't robbed. From what we saw, what's the tea? What's the tea on this story? So look that up if you have time. The Ohio professor. This very, very interesting. And this just happened last year. She was just sentenced this week. So we'll be talking about that tomorrow. As always, I appreciate y'all. Maybe Scott, maybe it was botched. But she got that's the thing. See, we got to talk about tomorrow. Scott said botched robbery. The thing about it, she got away with it, right? And she was scot-free for about sorry, Scott, no pun. No pun intended. But she got away with it. She was minding her business. And then she started searching every day the news clipping to see if anybody heard about this man that was in his house and if they had any leads. And that's what happened. So it's very, I forgot about that. I forgot about those sites. The Ashley Madison. Hey, Exactly Erica. You guys, if you like reality TV, please tune into Exactly Erica. I learned about this new show today. Exactly Erica. What was it? Something Detroit. I spent my whole afternoon working and listening to you. We all did. It was such a good show. Just to recap, thanks for letting us know about it. But yeah, it's interesting to see, right? I love you guys. I just want to get on here and chit chat. We was long-winded. I'm always so excited to talk to you guys. I had a long day. I got some more stuff to talk to you guys about tomorrow too, about stuff I saw around town. I'm just gonna do some healing from it first and then come on here, because I don't want to come out here crashing out, because you know your girl, I'll be on here like, oh my gosh. So I'm just taking a minute and I'm gonna process it, because y'all, I'm not crashing out. These people crashing out during election. I appreciate you guys. And if you can, hit the QR code. If you can't, hit the like button. If you can, send a prayer up for your girl. As always, who's long-winded?
Can I be recognized, Mayor?
You want to be long-winded? I'm just asking.
Take care of yourself and each other. Bye.
Commentary blue, commentary, burgundy, commentary, comment blue, commentary, comment,